Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Let's talk about this myth that exists in boxing, especially in the modern age. I mean, I've touched on this before in previous videos, but it bears repeating because of the Daniel Dubois victory over Anthony Joshua. This myth that exists in boxing regarding unbeaten records and the fact that you have to, you have to be unbeaten in order to be, considered a great fighter, to achieve anything. Look, going your entire career without being defeated, if you face good people, is a tremendous achievement. Ricardo Lopez did it, Marciano, obviously, a few others. But so, this is not to say that's not an achievement. It most certainly is. But a career is a block of work, okay? Imagine a book with different chapters. That's the obvious analogy. And when you consider that sometimes, you begin your journey, to use that awful, reality TV phrase, when you consider that sometimes you begin it when you haven't got all the knowledge you need, when you haven't got all the skills you need, inevitably, stands to reason, you're going to hit a few bumps in the road. Now, this was certainly the case with Daniel Dubois, because you don't need me to reiterate everything about, how he got quit against Joyce because he had a busted eye socket, and then he came back, and then Usyk beat him, and he quit because he, lost his way in that fight, and Usyk just befuddled him and bewildered him and turned him inside out, stood him on his head, and in the end, Dubois thought, I can't do this. He just ran out of ideas. He lost his way. Usyk is a masterful fighter, mentally, emotionally, and obviously physically and skill-wise in terms of talent. No shame in losing to Alexander Usyk, especially in light of the fact he went on to beat Tyson Fury. So he is the heavyweight champion. The IBF champ is Daniel Dubois, but the heavyweight champion of the world is Alexander Usyk. No ifs. I'm not listening to anyone who's got any kind of silly narrative to peddle. That would be a stupid thing to do. He was the last man standing. Now, in terms of Dubois, we only have to go back 13 months. That's all, 13 months to when he was knocked out by Usyk. But what did he do? He learned from that. He just hooked up with Don Charles, and I've made other videos saying I think Charles is the right fit for Daniel, and whether it'll be around for much longer is, I don't know. You never know, do you? Because Daniel Dubois' father is like some sort of great patriarch, and he seems to be the one that hires and fires the trainers, and yeah, it's unfortunate because I think Don and Daniel are a good fit. They seem to be. So despite that defeat to Usyk, they carried on working. They carried on doing what anyone should do in life, no matter what their vocation is. They worked hard. They stayed disciplined. They stayed focused. They accepted responsibility, in many respects for the defeat to Usyk. And they said, okay, we're going to amend this. And they did it. And then they had a fantastic win against Miller, who, I don't like Miller at all, but, he was a big, tough unit with a fantastic jaw. And coming off the back of being knocked out by Usyk, it could have been a banana skin, definitely. A lot of people were picking Miller to win, to beat Dubois, to break his heart and make him quit again. Dubois was like, no, I'm not having any of it. Knocks him out, stops him on his feet in the final round. Next one up, Filip Hrgović. I'm someone, along with I think many others, that picked Hrgović to beat Dubois. Not because I particularly rate Hrgović highly. I've always thought he's overrated, but I looked at it and I thought style-wise, And, Hrgović, I've said in the past, Hrgović looked, he was so arrogant. He was so disdainful of what was in front of him, of Dubois. He didn't even bother having his fucking hair cut. Do you see him? Hair flopping everywhere. He seemed to say, I've got to turn up and I win. And, of course, he got sliced up and stopped in 8 rounds. And then on the back of that, we've got the Joshua victory for Dubois. Who would have predicted, having been knocked out 13 months ago by Alexander Usyk, that would anyone have predicted that Dubois, even allowing for the fact that he would be given these opportunities, which wasn't given to start with, that he would go on this run and, smash his way to the top of the division, bar Usyk. And, of course, now he is in a prime position to have a rematch with Usyk if he beats Fury. I think Usyk is a strong favourite against Fury, very strong favourite. And yeah, a rematch. Would Dubois do any better? I think he'd do better. I would still pick Usyk to win, but in other words, you learn from your mistakes. You act in an adult manner, an objective manner. You accept what has happened, emotionally accept it, because that's the only way you can control your emotions. Okay, I accept it. I fucked up. I was terrible. I was wrong. Whatever it is, that's part of being a man. That's part of being someone who is able to sort of look himself in the mirror and actually like what's coming back at him. That's how Teddy Atlas always phrases it. And you answer the questions. You then say, okay, you think I'm this. I'm going to prove you wrong. Most importantly of all, those little doubts in my head, I'm going to prove them wrong, because you're the one that has to live inside your own head. So I think it's a tremendous turnaround for Dubois. Massive respect to him. I picked Joshua to beat him, and I picked Hrgović to beat him. So, like many other people, I've got egg on my face. Don't mind being proven wrong at all. Great fight, much deserved. It's not like he cheated. Dubois won that fight from virtually the opening seconds of the fight. And Joshua was absolutely appallingly bad. Joshua, by the way, I did another video. Joshua is not as bad as that. Unless he is completely shot and has become completely shot overnight, he's not that bad. Don't be surprised if he goes on another little run and works his way back into the mix. Or the alternative, of course, is to take on Dubois again. I do not fancy his chances. I think Dubois will beat Joshua again in the rematch if that happens. Failing that fight, who do I want to see? Daniel Dubois and Martin Bakole. Come on, that's an eruption. That's an atom bomb of a fight. What a great fight that would be. Come on, get it on, Frankie boy. Uncle Frank and Eddie and whoever the bloody hell else is involved. Yeah, great fight coming up. Anyway, what do you think? Let's get this stupid cult of the zero out of the way, can we? Forget about being undefeated. You go back, way back, right? I've said this before as well. Back to sort of the 1940s, certainly the 40s, 50s, 30s, and a fighter was undefeated. You know what the immediate reaction was? Well, they can't have fought anyone. You mean they're undefeated? They've never lost. Well, they're obviously just fighting bums, or whatever the word you want to use is. That was the attitude. This cult of the zero, or the O as people call it, it's a stupid, facile thing, And again, I repeat, if you do face good opposition, go your whole career without being defeated, of course that's an achievement. But it should not be imperative to defining you as a fighter, defining your career. Lennox Lewis got knocked out twice. He was a great heavyweight champion, Followed his career from start to finish, I did. Love watching Lennox. A lot more exciting than people remember him. Vladimir Klitschko got knocked out, was it three times? Yeah, 3 times before he became champ, he went on that run of being undefeated for 9 years. I mean, he got done by 3 people. I mean, so what? That's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. No one is born perfect. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling, but you know what I mean? Leave your comments below. Thank you for your time. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Bye.